Hello everyone, my name's Liam. I am the only developer on the Mirage Realms project. A lot of you have played for a long time who are watching this because you're interested in the game enough to be watching this in the first place. I just tried to explain the situation in game and it didn't go down very well, so I thought perhaps a video and a much more personal message would help me communicate exactly what's going on and why I'm trying what I'm trying. Okay, so basically, very recently my life circumstances have changed. The company that I work for full time as my kind of normal everyday job got bought out by a much bigger company. So my life's kind of been thrown into a really weird situation for a while now, as they kind of like came in and swooped in and took us all, and we've now all moved over to their head office and they've split up our teams, and basically everything's their way or the highway, and it's horrible and I hate it and I don't want to work there. And the kind of stress of that and the reality of sorting my CV out, looking for jobs, kind of just the daily crap involved in working somewhere that you hate while trying to get out of there, has meant that I have had very little time to do anything but focus on what I don't like about what I'm doing for a living at the minute, and what I want to change. So I have to leave this place or I'm going to shoot myself. And I've been looking for work at other companies, looking for like a small business where I could join in a small team, possibly take a pay cut from what I'm on now, but there was something that would let me create and code with freedom again, because that's what I enjoy doing. Is, you know, Mirage exists because that's kind of my passion. I really like inventing things and the freedom to create. The same way a carpenter would really enjoy making something beautiful and being left alone and given the space to do it, rather than just being given like a piece of IKEA furniture that they have to assemble. Everyone prefers the former if you have those skills and you're good at it. But this new company that's came in and took us over doesn't care if we have the skills to do the former. They just want us to assemble the IKEA furniture, and not to make it any nicer than it already is, just put the flat pack together and shut up, and it's horrible. So, as I said, I've been looking for another job, and I've been doing that for a week or so now. And the offers I'm getting are for similarly sized businesses, and I can't seem to find any real startups in the area yet. So I'm feeling a bit trapped and pressured by this, because my quality of life is just going tanking into the floor because I kind of hate what I'm doing all day every day, and I can't see an immediate way out. While all of this is going on, Mirage has just completely stalled, as you all know, because the update that was coming out at the end of last month hasn't, and it's gone a bit quiet, and that's because all of this shit's been going on basically, and Mirage has just been right at the back of my mind because, well, hopefully you can understand why, because and it's difficult for me to log in at the minute and talk to you guys, because you're still enjoying what is effectively a very small, tiny part of what I see the project becoming if I just had the fucking time to do it, which I don't. Anyway, getting around to why I'm making this video. I approached a friend of mine he's a college friend of mine, and he invests in businesses, and discussed the potential of him investing in Mirage so that I can go full time on it and try and, instead of getting a new job, try and just make Mirage make money. Now, when I say make money, it needs to pull in about $1,500 a month so that I don't lose my house. And if I can make it do that, I am happy to work my arse off on the game 24/7 and really, really try and propel the project to a point where it's not only an awesome game, but it is financially viable. But I cannot do that unless I am making at least $1,500 a month off the game. Initially, in order to get off of the ground, this investor is offering me £5,000, which is nothing really, in return for 50% of anything the game makes ever, basically. Which is an absolutely terrible deal, but it would allow me to do it. He knows I'm backed into a corner because he's my friend and I've told him my situation, and he's a businessman, so he's taking advantage of it. So what I propose instead is I'm going to fire up a GoFundMe, and if we can raise £5,000 before the end of this month, I will quit my job and I will go full-time on Mirage, and I will live off of that £5,000. That should give me about 3 months of paying the mortgage and being able to eat, to try and get the game to a good enough position where it's worth you guys paying for things in it. It's really worth me stressing there'd be no pay to win. Anything I've already said about how it would be, say, £2 a month to access all of the content available over level 50 forever, still stands. I firmly believe that the kind of that style of you just pay a little bit of money and then you get the whole game is the best way to go in terms of making the game really good. And making the game really good has always and will always be my primary focus. The reality is that really fucks me over as a developer, because I'm unwilling to put mechanisms into the game to kind of try and crowbar money off of you guys. I'm talking like paying for little outfits or buying little boosts, you know, the kind of pay to win stupid shit. Like, I hate it all. The truth is, if I put that in, I would easily be able to afford to do this, but by doing so, I ruin the whole game as far as I'm concerned, and that's not a compromise I want to make. Now, I'm trying to be really, really honest with you all here, because this is, you know, this is just the reality of my life at the moment. I would absolutely love nothing more than to work all day, every day on the game. But I have to pay the mortgage. I have to be able to do it. So I'm undecided on whether I can live with myself doing this investment thing. I think I'd rather the game die than someone own 50% of it who hasn't contributed anything to it. And if I throw up this GoFundMe and it makes £5,000 and I quit my job, I am placing myself in such a risky position financially in real life, because when that money runs out, the mortgage can't pay itself anymore, and I am in deep shit. So the strategy would be as follows. We raised the £5,000. Hopefully more. Any extra money we did raise would just pay for helping me keep afloat while I develop the game. That £5,000 should keep me fed and this roof over my head and my missus happy for about 3 months. So that would allow me, in those 3 months, firstly, within a matter of days, to get this fucking update out that you've been waiting for forever. Because once I quit my job, what am I doing all day? Nothing. Working on Mirage is what I'm doing all day, so we can get this bloody update done. And secondly, basically bringing the game as quickly as possible to version 1.0. So that means implementing spells, implementing guilds, and implementing areas over level 50 that you can access if you're over level 50, of course. If you have your monthly £2 ticking over. I would hope that with this next update, plus spells, the game would have enough content and be interesting enough to bring a lot of the old players back, because the update's already huge. The amount of new stuff in it that I haven't talked about that is already in, the content, the monsters, the items, the areas, like there's so much in it already that, oops, my monitor's turned off so my light went, that I'm confident that there is plenty there for people to be getting on with, and it would attract people back to the game, and give the game like a completely fresh lease of life. So in that case, people would then be more naturally inclined to play more, would be more naturally, like, because they're enjoying the game and there's more to do straight off the bat, to get their monthly subscription of £2 going, which means that money would start coming in, and hopefully by the end of the 3 months, so month 1 would be me absolutely hammering the game as much as I can to try and bring it up to version 1.0 as quick as I can. Month 2 would be getting the monthly system and option into the game and deploying it with content that's worth paying for, obviously. And then we have month 3 to fix things and start adding even more cool spells and God knows whatever else, while that money's coming in, and hopefully enough of it will come in by the end of month 3 to tick me over for another month, and then that's bought me another month to keep working on the game. And that's how we'd operate, basically, just as any business operates, trying to make enough money to stay afloat. I think it would take me 3 months to get it as far as I need to know if, or for it to start actually being a good enough game and have enough to do for people to actually want to pay. Once they're over level 50 for the cool extra content and all that sort of thing. So I think, and I don't think that's too much money to ask from the community to achieve that. It's self-funding. This is insane. This whole idea is probably quite insane, but with the situation with work at the minute, I feel like I'm in a kind of a position where if I get a new job, Mirage is going to be ignored for months, because my profession as a developer, when I start somewhere new, I have so much to learn, and it is such hard work for like the first 6 months until you're up to speed with the products you're working on, and you're part of the team and you know everything you need to know to be effective at your job. That Mirage would just fade into obscurity if I do that. It wouldn't go anywhere, but it wouldn't be going anywhere development-wise, It's a shit situation, so we're going to try this. We're going to give this a go. If the GoFundMe fails, then don't panic. Mirage isn't going anywhere. It just means that I won't be going on it full-time. I've never been full-time on it. I did do, I think it was 2 days a week. I worked on it for 2 days a week, for Thursday and Friday, to get it to a point where people could actually play the game, and I got so much done back then in that time, having 7 days a week to work on it. I'm confident. I'm very confident that I can achieve everything I need to find out if this is financially viable. If it isn't, don't panic. The game's not going anywhere, and I could always go back to the investor and say, "Great, let's do this. Let's take your tiny amount of money for this huge bloody percentage ownership in the business." But I don't know if that's really something I want to do. So. Yeah, I'm not holding you all to ransom or anything. This is just something I'm thinking of trying to do. If you want to support it and you think it could be cool, then the GoFundMe is going to go up, and we have until the end of October to find out if we're going to do this, I guess. Obviously, I'd love to, because holy shit, getting to work on the project I love as a job, even if it's only for a while until I panic and it fails and I have to actually go and get a real job, would be incredible, and I'd love to do it. And I feel kind of both incredibly proud of how far we've got so far as a community, but also really upset with how the development has stalled lately, and how I don't have the time and energy to bring it up to the product that I feel it can be. So maybe this will help resolve some of that if it works. So The way this will work is, as the GoFundMe makes money, if it even makes any money, we might raise like 50 quid but that will be a clear message that this isn't going to work, so it's worth doing anyway, because I'll know at that point if the game was ever going to make any money, or if the game does have the community support that I feel it does, even in the face of me being pretty shit at delivering updates lately. But if that happens, it's okay, I'll just get another job. But if we get up to £5,000 within the month, as I say, the day that we hit the £5,000 mark, I will hand in my resignation where I currently work. I have a month's notice period where I work. So in that month, I will register Mirage as a business, myself as the CEO. I will put that £5,000 in there, and I'll put myself on the payroll ready for when I finish at work, and then I'll hit the ground running at Mirage. During that time, obviously, I have at the point where I've handed in my resignation, I'm no longer invested in where I work, so I'm not going to be killing myself every day at work, working on their stuff, because it's my future, because at that point it isn't, so that will give me a lot more energy. So during my notice period, should I have handed in my resignation, I will be using my evenings to get the current update finished and out before I even start. Now, my missus just got back, so I'm going to go and have a conversation with her, but I just felt this was important that I made this video so I could make myself clear and talk to you as a person instead of some text. So, yeah, thanks everyone. Wish us all luck, I guess. Toodles.